Can effective money management skills be the philosopher's stone for a successful relationship? Why am I asking these questions? Here are the questions today. What is money? And in what way can money be a relationship wrecker? A lot of people don't know. Money is the number one cause of divorce and causes stress in over 75% of Americans, according to the APA, American Psychological Association. Is your relationship with money prepared for the next global disaster / political event? You know, money is subject to speculation. Stock market is subject to speculation. Somebody put out a rumor, you lose half the value of your stocks. Your money gets weaker. What's the difference between money and currency? A lot of people don't know the difference between money and currency. We're going to cover all of this today. Who's the CEO of your relationship's bank account? And can you completely trust them? What is financial infidelity? Can you cheat on your partner with money? This is a big deal. These are a lot of questions that are happening in America today. That's why 75% of marriages are stressed out over bread. Is your relationship with your bank account, with money, more important than your relationship with your significant other? A lot of people want to know answers to this, and it's our job to provide. I don't think we're going to be able to, but we're going to have some.
Really, we are.
We
got some answers.
I'm just saying, we've got some people on the line that I trust more than you.
Well, that's your problem. They not in the skin I'm in.
Tell him, Bobby Glanton.
In
like
what
the way
ways?
You said that.
Yeah, that sounded good, right? In
Make
what
a brother
ways?
rear up.
Rear up. That's
yes.
What is rear up,
It's a
Bobby?
Southern thing. I know what he meant.
I'm from Chattanooga. I'm rear up.
No, you done win Hollywood out here. That's why we sitting in this studio right now. He done left Chattanooga and then went uptown.
You feel me?
I ain't mad at you, though.
In what ways can financial infidelity be more hurtful than emotional or physical infidelity?
Just let me know when we can get going with this.
I'm just saying. I got to ask these questions, right? It's important that we need to understand. Let me just forget the questions and go right to Bobby, because Bobby has answers. Bobby, I've asked a lot of questions.
Certainly you have.
Talk to me about the impact of money on relationships, good or bad, right or wrong.
Well, the first example I will give you in terms of the impact money does not have in my own personal situation is I never had a whole lot of money, and the more money I got, the more problems I had in relationships, because it's hard to determine if the person is with you for the money or you. And I've had more success in hard times in relationships because it was clear. If somebody was with me, they was down with me. There wasn't no question about that. And I remember one night I went to this nightclub, and this woman said, aren't you going to buy me a drink? I said, if I buy you a drink, I have just bought some of your time. And I'm not going to do that because I talk for a living. If anybody going to buy a drink, you going to buy me one.
Wow.
And she looked at me like, where are you from? I said, no, where are you from? Because what you have just did is put yourself in a position where you sold your time. Because if I buy you a drink, I have just purchased some of your time. Now, are you selling time? Are you selling your body? What are you selling? Because if we're socializing, there should be a fair exchange. And I got something to talk about that might be a benefit to you and it might not. But I'm not going to purchase your time when mine is for sale. So she looked at me like, what are you in here for? I said, I came in here to have a good time.
And not to buy some time.
Not to go broke, for somebody that's just here to get drunk off of my paper,
Wow.
Because I'm on a budget.
Brandi?
Wow, she should have just waited for the guy that bought her the drink without asking for it.
Why?
Because somebody will.
But it's going to cost you something.
Well, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes?
Yeah. Sometimes it's
You know
just
how many
a drink.
clubs have been turned out by fights based on the fact that a guy bought a woman a drink, she danced with another dude, and all hell broke loose?
If you send me a drink, I didn't ask you for anything, so you just bought a drink. That's it.
That ain't the way he looked at it. He just purchased an opportunity to come over and worry you the rest of the night.
A few minutes, not the rest of the night.
Let's just hear.
I'll send it back. And be like, oh, okay, no, thank you.
Right, but I think we're off into the club, the club side of things. I'm talking about in an intimate relationship. How does money impact positively and negatively that kind of relationship? What kind of agreement? Because money is a very personal thing. It's almost as personal as sex. I don't really want to just start talking to you about my financial situation. At what point is it the time to talk about money and where we stand, what we bring into the table?
Right away.
Really?
Right away, yeah. Because if you don't talk about it then and you get broadsided by it later, the relationship deteriorates so quickly that it's not even funny. All right, for example, what do you want? I mean, if you got certain criteria where you got to take care of this, and I need to know that right now. I don't need to find that out.
So I have a huge question for both of you and our guests that are listening right now. Are we really, in fact, dating resources?
Sometimes, yeah.
Let's just go into that.
I mean, a lot of times.
Brandi,
we
are you?
Am I dating resources right now?
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Good Lord, no. I need to be, though.
Why?
Because if we're dating resources, then I could have more resources. But I'm not dating
You're going to have more
resources.
problems.
I'm not dating resources. I mean, I understand that whenever you do, there's always a trade-off.
Now there's expectations.
Well, of course. That's what I mean.
And that's when it becomes problematic. And that's why so many relationships end up on the rocks, because a man has certain expectations. If he starts spending money and you don't discuss that, what he has just purchased, either it's your body, it's either your time.
Bobby, you're saying something really deep right now. Are you saying when men spend money on women, it's kind of a silent contract?
Oh, ain't nothing silent about it.
Ooh, go deeper.
Nothing silent about it, but what causes the problem is it's not discussed with any clarity. All right? And he's leading with his wallet. Okay, all right, I'm Mr. Big, and hey, I got it like this, and what do you need? What do you want? And what he's not telling you is, in exchange for that, you're going to have to hop when he say hop.
Of course. That is almost always the exchange. That is almost always why when I've talked to other women about this, it's like, if you're going to get into that type of situation, you do realize that isn't without a cost. Like, you might be getting your rent paid or your car note paid for and all this stuff like that, but you kind of are taking on somebody who now feels like they can tell you when and where you should go.
But women, you guys already know this.
Some do,
Let's
some
not
don't.
act like women are just fucking little Bo Peep skipping through the forest while all of this is happening.
But aren't we?
No. See, that's that old victimhood stuff we talk about a lot.
Victim, just happy days. And then...
Happy?
Wow.
Ooh, Lord.
This is going to be great. Listen, we have some special guests on the line right now. They're professionals at this. We're going to have to bring some pros in. Jesus. They're co-authors of Partners in Passion, Great Sex Made Simple, Tantric for Erotic Empowerment, and The Essence of Tantric Sexuality.
What is that?
It's a lot of humping. That's what it is. And authors of several books, including The Making of a Prophet and The Spiritual Warrior's Guide to Defeating Jezebel the Whore.
Wow.
I added the whore on the end of it.
Why does that keep coming up?
Sensationalism, right? I think it's a husband and wife team. They're on the line with us right now, and I want to bring them in and get their perspective on money management and mistakes that are made in relationships. Let's go. Come on in and welcome to the So What Show.
Hi, I'm Patricia Johnson.
And I'm Mark Michaels, and we're the authors of Partners in Passion.
Yes. There we go. Let's talk about it. Who's the CEO of your relationships bank account? Let's go.
Oh boy. I think, between us, we have our personal finances, and then we have joint finances, and I think I manage most of the joint.
Yeah, she manages most of the joint money. We're all on the table about what we've got, and we got together fairly late in life, so we came in with our own established. But
fund. I'm with Bobby on this. Start with your discussion of who you are as sexual beings, and then pretty quick get on board about what your financial understandings and all of that very quickly. I think that far too often people really wait too long to have these kind of conversations.
Good stuff. Why is money such a problem, though, in relationships? 75% of Americans stressed out. Relationships are crashing around money. Why do you think that's the issue? Please go deeper.
Well, I mean, for starters, the economy is still pretty rough, and so it's a huge issue for people just to be getting by. But beyond that, I think it's because people money has symbolic meanings for people. It carries a whole lot of other emotional baggage. And so a lot of times when people argue about money, the money's like the top level of what's being argued about.
That's really not what they're arguing about. But we're going to start with the bread, right? We're going to use the bread, our displeasure with the bread, to really get down to the issue of what we really want to talk about, is what you're saying?
Oftentimes, especially when relationships are in trouble, then money, or when people are going through a separation, then money becomes invested with all the other stuff that's gone on in the relationship. But often that's because people haven't set out and really established their clear understandings at the beginning.
But I'm with you also on this concept of financial infidelity. Those can be really, really bad. And
especially if you're married to someone. I mean, someone runs up all this debt. You're both liable for it.
But what about...
I think a lot of times what happens is that people don't discuss their spending with each other, and we refer to it in the book as non-consensual spending.
Wow.
So, if I go out and buy a boat and I don't tell her about it...
You cheated. You basically cheated on her. Right.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Right. So what about... Because a lot of people don't understand this. In America, the perception is marriage is a bad deal for men. So they're coming into the situation, there might be a new notion or a growing feeling that men may have to say, you know what, I'm marrying her, but I'm going to have to hide a couple of these bank accounts on the side just in case things go bad.
Well, right? how you go in is how you come out. So if you started out in a relationship giving her the impression that money's not an object when you know damn well that it is.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Yes.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Money ain't nothing, baby. I got it. And no, it...
And he spent $300 that he should have paid his rent with, okay, to impress her.
Well, let me ask all
he
of you
can't
guys
sustain
this.
that.
Let me ask all of you this. Everybody, panel, callers, let me ask. We know that the economy is in a bad way and has been for a long time, and there's been rumors that the dollar is going to collapse. If our relationships are basically predicated on money, aren't we putting all our eggs in the wrong basket?
Absolutely.
I'm just asking. We're about to take a quick break. When I come back, we'll answer that question. The So What Morning Show, money mistakes and marriage and relationships is getting kind of sticky. We'll be back.
Since 1971, when President Nixon took the United States off what was left of the gold standard, the world has operated under a system of money called fiat. The dollar, the pound, the euro are all government fiat currencies. Fiat is a Latin word meaning let it be so. It is the law that this government currency be money. Indeed, without that legal enforcement, and the fact that we must pay taxes in this money, that dollar bill or that computer digit that represents a dollar would be pretty much meaningless. Only the government has the power to issue fiat money, but banks can create it through lending. If somebody wants to borrow $10, a bank can create it from nowhere and lend it. It can then charge interest. Banks also create money by lending against an asset, such as a house. They're given the deeds to the house, and they create the money out of nowhere and lend it, at interest, of course. Over the last 40 years, since this fiat system of money became the global norm, the supply of money has grown exponentially. In fact, we've seen the greatest growth in the supply of money in history. But who benefits? Of course, those that have the power to issue money, governments and banks. They haven't had to do anything productive, they just create money. Then those companies and individuals that get this money early. They can spend it before the prices of the things they want to buy have risen to reflect the new money in circulation. In other words, they get services, products, assets cheap. But prices soon rise, so holders of assets such as shares or houses will then see gains without there necessarily being any improvements to the company or house in question. Often, this can lead to speculative bubbles. Who gets this money early? However money is created, be it through lending, fractional reserve banking, financial bailouts, or old-fashioned money printing, banks are always at or near the top of the money-issuing pyramid.